Hello, my name's Jake Allen Graham, and this is my review on Batman Forever from 1995 movie. The third installment in the, franchise that Burton made, that Burton started and Schumacher took over and ended. But not on a good note, because mostly because of Batman and Robin when came after this, but I wouldn't be surprised the backlash from Batman Forever, the negative feedback, is kind of what doomed Batman and Robin financially. And I found out that Batman and Robin was the only Batman movie that really didn't do well. The first Batman movie didn't do well. In the Batman franchise. That was Batman and Robin, then we got Batman Begins. That was good. Then we got the sequels to Batman Begins. I think that shouldn't have happened, because Batman Begins was a perfect movie on its own, and they never should have made a sequel to that movie, because it was a phenomenal movie on its own, and the sequel doesn't feel like it really connects to Batman Begins, really. And I felt like the whole story structure was... I feel like the whole story in the trilogy of Batman... The whole Batman Begins... Batman trilogy, called the Dark Knight trilogy, known as... It just doesn't feel like this... It doesn't feel like it connects. It feels like it connects even less so than... trying to connect the Schumacher movies to the Burton movies. It feels like Batman Begins connects less to the Dark Knight in the third installment. It feels like Batman Begins was one of those movies that never meant like it needed a sequel, or should have had a sequel, and should have just been a one-off deal movie. Not that I hated Batman, because I love Batman Begins. For me, that's one of my favorite Batman movies. I give that a 10 out of 10. Batman Begins. But I think, they shouldn't have ended. They should have ended it with one for Nolan, because it felt like, I don't know, the others that were kind of average, mediocre, forgettable waste of a story. Potential story of telling a story. There was dark elements, there was just dark elements for the shock value, not really dark elements that really enhance the tone of the story. For the Burton sequels. I mean, the Batman sequels was Nolan did. With the Nolan sequels, and after Batman Begins, I said Burton sequels, I meant Nolan sequels to the Nolan saga. The only one I liked is Batman Begins, is what I'm saying. And Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy is a failed trilogy for me. Anyway, I like Batman Begins Forever a lot. I give this a 10 out of 10. Now, what I liked about Batman Forever... Okay, there's a few things I like about Batman Forever. It brings in Robin. And Robin gets her very cool, comic book accurate take on his costume. Like, it got all the right color schemes for Robin costume, but we still haven't got the right color scheme for all black Batman. It's still all black. At least Robin, he had the right proper comic book accurate colors. in the when he got his final costume in the third act. And I enjoyed the final design costume, but what I didn't enjoy is the final design on the costume for Batman after his back case gets totaled and all the gadgets and spare costumes he's worn, except for one spare one that he's never worn before. And it's this costume that's similar to the costume he wore in Batman and Robin during the most of the act of Batman and Robin. This costume is similar to the costume we see in Batman and Robin design that George Clooney wears in the beginning of the movie, except for the end of the movie once he changes his costume for the third act against Freeze, and that's Batman and Robin. I'm gonna say, I wish we got such a good take of Robin's costume that looks comic accurate, but also looks like it's more armor based. This costume from the comics that we've seen at this point in the comics in history, and also in the cartoons and some. So I enjoyed Chris O'Donnell's Robin costume in this movie that he wears in third act that Alfred makes him. I like how he actually wears his comic book costumes unlike Batman in the third act. I just wish Batman wore the blue and gray, bright gray costume. Bright blue and bright gray costume he wears in the comics, with his Batman costume. The gray tights and the blue cape and mask. I just wish we could have gotten that costume, but we can't get nice things. Even wish we can't get that stuff. I mean, I just think it's a little weird that we didn't. We can't get that in live action, but we can get a proper live action, colorful costume for Robin. But we can't get a proper live action, colorful costume for Batman and Robin. For the same flick. It's kind of retarded when you think about it. This is what I think, personally. Don't hate any of the costume designs per se. I just wish we could. I wish we could it just follows me that this costume is after that case gets total, we get a less cool looking costume than when we started in the beginning of the movie for Batman Forever. Just saying, I don't like the costume as much as that was in most of the movie. That Val Kilmer as the second costume in the movie and final act of the movie. Not much, okay? I think, I like the one he wore most of the movie better than the one he wears in the third act. Val Kilmer's Batman, okay? For his costume. That's my thoughts on his costume. And that's my thoughts on these movies so far. And, another thing I like about the movie is, I like Chris O'Donnell's Robin. I like how this Robin's is this Dick Grayson's Robin from the comics, the first Robin. And I like how this Dick Grayson's Robin is filled with vengeance and anger towards Two-Face that kills his parents in this continuity. And when he becomes Robin, the anger doesn't go away. And I like how this one feels like he has some sort of character arc. And I like how he how his Robin costumes design. And I like how he sometimes Chris O'Donnell, at least in the first Batman Forever, I felt like the Schumacher should have ended with Batman Forever and not made a fourth one, okay? That's just what I think. And I think they should have just let Burton make the fourth one. Tim Burton. They should have had Tim Burton do the fourth one and brought Keaton back. And maybe that would have been better wise decision business wise for Warner Brothers Studio in DC. But then again, we probably would have never gone the classic Batman Begins reboot with Christian Bale. That was only good for one movie. But one's better than none. In my book. Okay? I give Batman Forever from 1995 a 10 out of 10. Also, I love that Chris O'Donnell's Robin sometimes says wholly like Burt Ward's Robin from the Alan West run era. I like how sometimes he'll say holy. He says holy at least once or twice in the movie. And the third act, once he takes on the role of Robin, it briefly, when he knows the land is all, when him and Batman team up in the final act on land, and that's when you have Robin say holy he's Burt Ward's Robin. I like that little reference, not to Burt Ward's 60s Robin. God bless that Burt Ward's Robin. I love that Burt Ward's Robin also. But I like Chris O'Donnell's Robin also. I like how Chris O'Donnell, he just doesn't rely on holy really how he doesn't say holy actually. He doesn't make holy as his thing actually. He only says holy I think one or twice in scenes in the movie. Once or twice different times in certain one scene in the movie for Batman. Before Two-Face gets the drop on him because he forgot that Two-Face had a gun as he saves Two-Face's lives. Instead of taking his revenge on Two-Face. So, yeah. Now I want to talk about Val Kilmer's Batman. I like how Val Kilmer plays and how he's written as Batman, and it also has Bruce Wayne. I like how it feels like a contrast mixture, a blend between Michael Keaton's Batman and Adam West's take Batman from 1966 is how he's written in Betrayed. He doesn't go full goof in camp with the portrayal of Batman, and it's not completely lacking Batman depth and character depth for Batman Forever. I mean, I like the scenes that they did with the red book that, and Bruce falling to the cave and discovering this bat and vowing vengeance on his parents to strike fear in hearts of criminals to become Batman. Then that's when he gets the idea as he sees a bat as he ends up in a bat cave with this red book that he falls. It falls briefly and is explained in this flashback by Val Kilmer's narration. And it's good stuff it was. I wish more of the movie was like that. Was like that dark and complex, but I guess that's not what Schumacher wanted to do with Batman. He wanted to add more stupid stuff in this useless kind of stuff, like make Batman say, "I'll get drive-through," and I guess that was supposed to be funny. Well, he says it's serious, but well, it's supposed to be fun for us, the audience. When he tells that Alfred, when Alfred asks him, "Shall I pack a sandwich with you, sir?" And Batman says, "Okay, drive-through." Yes, drive-through. Who needs yes, drive-through? Pack on the carbs, Batman. Pack on the carbs. Wait, this Batman move was made for kids, right? Wait. Okay, so wait. Let me get this straight. Okay, this was considered you know, I don't understand because this was trying to be more kid friendly because right than the first two ones, right? And that was kind of the backlash, right? And of the first two ones when they came out, then that's what kids like this movie, I guess, because and parents did because it was lighthearted and it, compared to the Burton's one, were more like the comics that Frank Miller wrote and Bob Kane and Bill Finger made back in the day in the golden age of comics that Batman originated from era. From 1938 or 1939 is when he came out. Is the old school Batman from the comics. His first debut came on that year. The original Batman from the comics. The OG Batman. I have an omnibus of Volume 1 of Golden Age Batman, and that was the first Batman comic I looked at, okay? Some Golden Age Batman, okay? And I enjoyed it. This first Batman comic I looked at in a while, okay? I looked at it in a while. The Golden Age Batman comics was less. And, like, that was the first Batman comic I looked at in my adult years. The Omnibus Batman from Golden Age era. Volume 1. Still have it. It was fun looking at it. And, where was I? Oh, yeah. Michael Keaton Batman feels like more of a contract of Golden Age Batman. Dark, brooding, reckless with his when he fights people is pretty reckless, and people will sometimes die when he fights people because he recklessly fights them. And this was because in the Golden Age Batman, the original early age Batman before Robin comes in, Batman was depicted as a vigilante that really didn't care who lived or who died on his mission against on his mission as Batman. When he was a crime fighter when he was fighting crime. And he didn't work with the police officer, Commissioner Gordon, in the first page, the first comic issue of Batman. And he didn't have the Batmobile or the Bat cave, or really in the cool gadgets. Except for the utility belt. And everything that comes in with it. He had that gadget. But he drove Bruce Wayne's car. The same car he drove as Bruce Wayne in civilian form. In the original Batman Golden Age run. But that was also the same era where he invented all of the Bat gadgets in the later issues of Batman. All the stuff you know from comic book lore. And the very early issues of Batman, like the first issue of Batman, you're not going to see any of that stuff for the first 2 issues of Batman, okay? From Golden Age era. That comes in later at Golden Age era. But by the time they bring Robin in, that's when they bring all the villains and stuff in, I hear. The iconic stuff of Batman. Are you going to bed now?
No, I didn't know if you're still doing videos.
I'm doing this video now.
Okay, I'll let you finish.
Okay. Love you. And what was I? Oh yeah. I give Batman Forever a 10 out of 10 because I love Batman portrayal played by Val Kilmer, because it feels like a mixed blend tone of Silver Age Batman that, well, Adam West is known for bringing to life, and Golden Age Batman that, well, thanks to Michael Keaton, brought to life. And captured the spirit of the Golden Age Batman. And his brutal violence as Golden Age Batman. When he was a soul act. I like that. I like that. That Michael Keaton captured that well. And I like Batman from Michael Keaton. I give his first 2 Batman films a 10 out of 10. And I give Batman Forever a 10 out of 10 too. It's a fun, odd little conclusion if this was the last one. But it wasn't. I feel like this should have ended here, because I felt like there was no reason to bring back the character for a 4th installment. Once George Clooney played him. Because to me, it felt like George Clooney in the script did not know at all what to do with Batman. George Clooney never made it his own thing. He never made Batman interesting in his own right. Unlike Val Kilmer and even Michael Keaton and, well, and West, and also the Batman from the original 40s run. From the 1940s era of Batman television show. The 1940s run show on Batman. The 240s shows on Batman. One's called Batman and Robin, and one's called Batman. The original is called Batman and Robin, and the other one's a sequel show to the OG Batman from the 40s. The both series of black and white Batman episodes from the 1940s, before Adam West's era came. The original Batman and Robin. From back in the 1940s, in which the original guy that played Alfred. All 3 of those characters are in that, those iconic characters are in there, that Batman show. And they're great in their own right. And I love each character in their own role of that incarnation of Batman. And I love Alfred's Alfred in Batman Forever. How he mentors and guys Dick Grayson into becoming and embracing and becoming Robin again, but this time as a crusade, a hero instead of a circus act, and so and becomes Batman's partner in the end. And I enjoy this movie. I enjoyed Alfred in this movie too. I enjoy all the characters and the side characters and villains in this movie. This movie had a good idea to focus more on the heroes of the story than the villains, which I just wish the first two Batman did that movie. Like, focus on made Batman the main character instead of the villains. I wish Burton did that with his movies, because I like Michael Keaton more than his Batman played by Val Kilmer. It's because I like Michael Keaton's Batman more, so I just wish he was the main Batman of was the main focus and not the villains. But you know, because we didn't get on Batman being the main focus, which always confused me. Why isn't we named Batman after him when he's not the main focus, but is secondary to the villains of both Batman, which was Michael Keaton? I figured that's how I felt growing up as a kid, and it confused me.